Welcome, everybody, to High at Halftime. I'm your host, Shag Wellen, and as I do apologize about the delay, we still got in here in time for 420. So it's just around the corner, and so let's get our pieces packed. I'm going to start off. I got a couple new pieces thanks to my friend Trev. Fortunately, he was taking a break, but he thought nobody would be better to share the pieces than with me, and he knows I'll put them to good use. Also, we are still here in Mission Bay, San Diego. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing episodes from Sunset Cliffs. It's beautiful anywhere I want to go, I can. So that's what I love about this, taking the show on the road. So today I am going to be smoking on That Badu from Erica Badu's line. It is a nice indica, and so I'm going to grind that up. Earlier, I was smoking a really good sativa, so make sure you check out San Diego Cannabis Times, where I do strain reviews, so you can catch out all my reviews I've done. I probably have done 12 or 15. If you count even the ones where I did multiple, then I'm over 20 over there. So check them out, all the strains in California, and many, many more to come. And so I'm really excited about the ones I just tried, so that'll be coming out soon. And whoo, smelling good. And if you are in the chat, if you're watching live, please comment what you might be smoking on. All right, so hope everybody has a happy 420. Thank you so much, Trev. Beautiful piece. I'm excited to try all the others. Got this guy from him. And I also got this little mushroom piece as well. Got a little mushroom house almost. So that's really cool. But everybody says, or you always see the tournament and everything is called March Madness. And March was crazy. There's some upsets. JMUP Wisconsin, shout out Dukes, and then lost. There was Oakland upsetting. Kentucky lost. There's just so many upsets. And there's a lot of crazy ones. And that's why I love the tournament being expanded, is because there can be a lot of chaos. But if March is madness, then April's the dream of sports. You have it down to the Final Four in both men and women's of college basketball. So that tournament's coming up. You have the NBA and NHL playoffs starting to form, and it's coming down to the end. So that'll be starting at the end of the month. You have the NFL draft coming up at the end of April. And then, of course, 420. 420 is the Stoners holiday. And last year I got spent in Colorado, and it was fantastic. This year I will be working in San Diego. So come see me at Cannabis, where we'll make sure we always have the best deals. But and also last week baseball started, and I'm not the biggest baseball fan, I'll admit it right here, but holy crap, I love going to a game. There is nothing better than going to a game, beautiful sunny day, walking around the stadium, having a brat, having some beer, chilling with some friends. It is beautiful, and if you do it right like me, you got edibles and vapes on you at all times, so you're always feeling a good level, and watching, it's always a good time. And after opening week, usually the prices drop, so you can catch a Tuesday game at 1:30 for like $25. So I highly recommend. Check out. There's so many different sites. I like Game Time for usually my best deals for tickets. So check those out. But this past weekend, we'll get into it. You had Alabama. It's down to the Final Four. So you have Alabama versus Connecticut, number 4 versus number 1. Even though Alabama is ranked number 4, a couple people predicted them to be out beforehand, so they are just killing it, staying dominant. I'm rooting for them, but it's going to be really hard against Connecticut. Connecticut was the winners last year, and it's looking like they're going to repeat. They're looking so good. So we're hoping some madness continues. I like it. I like seeing a bunch of different upsets and different teams in there. So I haven't seen Alabama win, I don't think, in my lifetime. But I do only start paying attention recently. And then you have NC State versus Purdue. Purdue is projected to win, but NC State has been kind of the Cinderella story of them. They were ranked number 11. Hi, Riley. All right, looks like I got Scrappy Joe join the show for a little bit. So NC State is ranked number 11, and the guy that everybody's been talking about is DJ Barnes. He's a bigger guy, and even though he used to be ranked like top 3 coming out of high school, it's just kind of fallen down, and NC State hasn't done as good, but they have looked great in these playoffs, and he has looked dominant. You know what he reminds me of is somewhat of a Nikola Jokic. Is I remember Stephen A. just ratting on my man, saying he's a tub of lard. He can jump on a sidewalk. I have heard him say that years after years. He's even said it this year, even though Jokic has been in shape for the past 3 years that he has won the MVP, the finals MVP, and the championship. He's been in shape, and you have so many centers say it. But Stephen A keeps saying these terms, and these kind of apply to DJ Barnes. But I'm not saying it's that, but this guy is a bigger guy that just uses his force, is what I like to say. This guy is a presence in the paint, and that dude is just pushing around everybody. But what I see that I respect for him, just like Jokic, is the spins. Even though he's a bigger guy, that dude will spin you and put you in the spin cycle of a dishwasher so fast. I mean, it is crazy. He'll just be quick little loop, and then his floaters are absolutely insane. Shots that he's just falling back, just left-handed floater goes in. And that's the same thing I see Jokic do. It's just he just knows where the ball is going to go, and he's great at getting rebounds as well. If he improves his assists and his passing, which he had some good assists during that game, but if he improves it, because he will be getting more double teams and things like that if he goes to the NBA or when he goes to the NBA. And so if he can improve the passing when the double teams come, then it will just improve his game so much more, because there are very, very few people, especially in today's game, that can push him in the inside and in the paint. Not many people are going to be, only a few are. And so if he can just get a little bit more muscular, a little faster, and be quick with his passes, that's what's going to change his game. Unfortunately, I don't see them upsetting Purdue. I love his story. I love their story, but I don't see it happening. I unfortunately see Purdue going to win, and I think it's going to be Connecticut versus Purdue, the 2 number ones. I hope I'm wrong. I love it. I would love to see Alabama versus NC State. That's who I would love to see, but I think it is going to be Connecticut versus Purdue. And then I do want to give mad credit to all the girls basketball, but I unfortunately didn't watch too much of it. I know LSU versus Iowa, Caitlin Clark versus Angel is going to be a good matchup and everything. I don't want to talk too much about it. I want to give them their mad props, but I just don't know enough to go into it. I will try to pay attention a lot more. There's just so many sports, and also with times and events, but I want to give them mad credit, and I can't wait to see the highlights and watch the game if I have time today. But now we're going to move on to the NHL playoffs. We have the Avalanche are looking like my favorite team to win it all. It's going to be in the West. It's looking really tight between them and the Stars. The Stars are technically in the lead, but I think McKinnon and Cale Makar are just looking too hot. McKinnon is looking like he's going to win. I want to say MVP. I'm going to get so trashed on this, but the MVP of the NHL, they have different names for it, and I think they are going to win the Stanley Cup. I'm so sorry. Failing on this comment right now, so I'm going to take a bull for being stupid on that. But I do think the Avs have the chance to win it all. I think they're just going to be too hot. And then on the East, even though they're further down, I think Tampa Bay Lightning, I don't think you can really count them out. They've just been there so many times in the past few years, and I think they have a real chance. I think that's going to be a team that just pushes when it comes time, and I think it's going to be Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Colorado Avalanche. It's going to be a great playoff. So I got into hockey playoffs about 4 or 5 years ago. I got into because of Cale Makar, honestly. He's the reason I got into it. If you ever heard his story, he was voted like the top player in college on Friday night On Saturday night, he played the college championship. Unfortunately, his team lost. On Sunday, he does a skate through with the Avalanche, who drafted him earlier. And then he does a skate through, not even a full practice, and scores a goal in their playoff game that Sunday. And so I just love stories. And so that's drawn me to hockey. And then the playoffs has just gotten me more and more interested. So, and then just coming up is also the NBA playoffs. You have three teams who have actually locked in their position. The Boston Celtics have locked up the East for a while. They have a 10 or 11 game win streak over the second best team, the Bucks, and they've looked absolutely dominant. When they're hitting their threes, they're almost unstoppable. I do think the Bucks are their biggest threat to the Celtics, and it's going to be hard come playoffs. That's when you got the threes are harder to make. So that's when the more precise passes, the dunks, pushing the paint, going for two can be more precise. It can lead to a lot more wins, and defense wins championships. And so making 14, 15, 23s in a game is a lot harder come playoffs, because even though you might make that shot 100 times, making it in the third quarter of a regular game compared to the fourth quarter of game 4, game 6, where this might be needed for you to pursue to the next round, that's when it gets harder. And so that's why I think the Bucks are, with Giannis and Dame, it gives a good balance of driving and just playing physical in the paint, and then dishing it off to Dame, who can just sink those threes. So if both of them are hot, that's crazy. And then I have to say, just like Tampa Bay and down there, I don't know what's with these Florida teams, but they just play so much more aggressive come playoffs. And so watch out for the Miami Heat. They're not looking as good this year. They have had some injuries, but I mean, you always have to watch out for them come playoffs, because that Heat culture is real. Nuggets faced them last year, and that's real. They push them. I mean, it's every game is close. They play physical, and Jimmy Butler is a dog. That dude, just him and Jamal, just something about them. They have the dog on. Anthony Edwards, like they just, when the lights are on, the lights are brightest, they just shine, and they just play aggressive, which I love. So I do think I'm sorry, Celtics fans, but I think the Bucks are going to make it from the East side. But be wary of any of those three teams. But I do think the Bucks have it, and then I think it's going to be the Nuggets. It is so close in the West. You have Oklahoma, the Nuggets, and you have the Wolves are just all within a game from each other. 52, 51, 51. And so it, or no, 52, 52, 51 and wins. And OKC and the Nuggets have locked in their spot in the playoffs. The Wolves are right there. They're pretty much going to lock it in tonight. But those are the three hard teams. I think the Nuggets have this. I don't think a single team can beat a Denver in 7. They're just, when all 5 are clicking, it's just too hard to beat, because you have Jamal and Jokic are obviously just going to kill it in points and assists. Jamal is really submerged as a great point guard with his assists and everything, becoming well-rounded. I know he's slightly injured, but he's resting right now, and he's going to come back strong for playoffs. Michael Porter Jr. is finally playing at the level that we all thought he would, and he's even going to step it up even more. His threes are sinking in, but what I really love is his rebounding, his aggressive towards the basket, his dunking over people. He might have had a back injury recently, or like a few years ago, but he has played almost every single game. He's only missed like one game all year. So he's been durable, and he's been aggressive, which I love. And now he's getting that confidence back in his shot, which it's just been incredible. And then you have Aaron Gordon, which, I mean, every team wants their Aaron Gordon. He just does exactly what's needed every single time. He's your dunk guy. He's your defender. He'll hit an open three. Everybody hit threes last night against the Cavs. Every single person hit a three. It was wild how much we were hitting our threes. But Aaron Gordon is just that glue guy. I literally think he just does everything needed, anything you need. He could do 10 rebounds and only get 2 points in a game, and he call that a great game. He could have 24 points and 8 rebounds, 6 rebounds, and that's a good game. As long as he plays aggressive, I'm always happy. And there's so many alley oops that it's just so easy for Jokic to hit him. And then finally, KCP just is outstanding because he is just plays all of his effort on defense, and he has nights like last night where he can score, but he is just played up. I'm gonna take your best player and just give him his worst game of the year. Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, any of these guys, he just follows them around and he fights over screens harder than any player. He deserves all defensive player of the year. And so with me talking about the Nuggets, I'm going to do my next bowl because I gotta support the Mile High City. No way, new pieces. Sorry, Clog. Or did I just pack it too tight? Testing out a new piece and it's going wrong. Okay. I will have to adjust that one for later. But to continue with KCP, he is just playing so amazingly. He said last night, Nuggets for life. Please don't be a liar. Please don't pull Bruce Brown. I know Bruce Brown was at the Braves, so I don't hold it against him. But if you say Nuggets for life, please be a Nugget for life. You're more than likely going to take your player option, and make your money absolutely do. I hope it's just a way to bring you back on a team friendly deal or so, another deal. I hope you stay Nuggets for life because he just does what every team needs. Him and Aaron Gordon. It's literally those two guys are just the glue guys because defense, people don't like to play defense in the NBA. Those two guys seek it. And I just absolutely love it. So here is for the Mile High. Oh, okay. So gotta learn these two pieces. But a little too much water in that one. But man, the detail in the eye of that piece is just absolutely incredible. Now, switch into the NFL. The draft is coming at the end of the month. It is just shortly. It is 1 week after 420, which I love. This is the beginning because we have 420, and then which is the best holiday. I honestly love it better than Christmas. And then you have the NFL draft. Your top guys that you're going to be looking at. Caleb Williams is going to go number 1 to the Bears. It's obvious. It's done deal. You don't even have to worry about that. Number 2 to the to the New England Patriots. I'm going to say Jaden Daniels. Then number 3, you have the Washington Command. Nope, I messed it up. I apologize. Number 2 is Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels is going to the Washington Commanders. Also, they are getting sued right now. The Washington Commanders are getting sued by a Native American association group to get it changed back to the Redskins. This is because the Redskins symbol and mascot and logo was for Chief Whitetail. And so they are pissed off that they're pissed off that was changed because it was supposed to be a representation for the chief and it was an honor. And so they changing the name might be one thing, but the logo was for a specific chief. And so they're getting sued right now to change it back. I say, actually, I'm not going to get the title. I was going to say if the people, because it is for a chief, I think they should keep it or find a way to honor him as well. But I've always said that it needed to be changed if people are mad from an Indian to a Redskin potato, and then have all the vendors be fries or potato vendors. So you have fries, tater tots, baked potatoes, because sweet potatoes for people that want to be a little healthier. Because I mean, everybody likes potatoes. And then you can also have the same name and you do hail to the Redskin potatoes. But I saw that on Twitter. I can't take full credit, but I absolutely love that idea. I think I'm getting the munchies right now. I think that's what it is. Pretty sure I'm getting a little hungry. But so I think Jane Daniels to the Commanders. Number 3, you have I think Drake May is gonna fall. I think JJ McCarthy is gonna go number 3. He's risen up so much. Then I think Drake May is the quarterback that does fall. I believe he goes somewhere to 6 or 7, and where the Vikings are going to jump up and grab him. I think that's going to be their trade. I could see the Cardinals moving at 4, and so Drake May could be drafted at 4 by the Vikings, though. It would be a trade for him. But Marvin Harrison will be the next player that's not a quarterback. I think the very first player that's not a quarterback is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. He has just absolutely dominated the past 3 years in college, or 2 years in college, and just been absolutely phenomenal. No matter who his quarterback was, it's just crazy how he just picks out, and people are going to, I think he's going to be maybe not Justin Jefferson, but maybe better than him, maybe as close. I think he's going to absolutely explode no matter what team he's on. He's just going to explode. And then I do think the number one, or the best defensive player coming out of this, is going to be Dallas Turner. I think he's going to drop to the teens just because of offensive linemen, receivers, and quarterbacks all going higher. And so I think he will be the first defender picked up, but I do think it'll be between 10 and 12. Um, and for my team, the Denver Broncos, I think we will stay pat and pick Michael Penix at number 12. I really want us to trade back. I really hope we do and can pick up some assets and still get them. But I think with the run on quarterbacks and all the trades that might happen at the beginning, people backing out, Raiders moving up, I think that Michael Penix will just land there softly at number 12. And he has been my number 2 quarterback from the beginning. I think they need to do the draft right after the end of the college season. I think waiting to this time just gets people confused. They get thrown off by just big arms, bullets. Joe Milton from Tennessee just had a bomb day, just threw it so crazy. They had to move him from inside to outside because he will have hit the roof. Like, that dude's just got a beast of an arm, and things like that is what's going to trick teams into drafting people ahead 40 times, things like that. And I think they need to go more just based on tape, and that's what would help best. And so Michael Penix had one of the most incredible years. And showing how fast he was during his pro day shows that he could have ran more, but didn't have to. So he learned to become a pocket passer, learned to protect his body after the injuries. And so I think he just had one of the best years. And even though he didn't do well in the championship, he was so accurate, and everybody calls him the best passer, the most accurate passer in this draft, even though they always wanted to miss him for age or injuries. So I think Michael Penix will have one of the best, probably the best career, but probably right behind Caleb Williams. You have to give him credit, but I just don't think Caleb Williams is going to the right situation. Unfortunately, the further you go up, the worse you do, most likely. If you look at all the number 1-2s picked up in the past couple of years, the better quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes was drafted at 10. Lamar Jackson was drafted in the late 20s because Ravens trade back in. The guys that land to a better situation will do better. The guys that go up early, I mean, even the fantastic draft Trevor Lawrence was a part of, he's been the only one that's been able to stay with his same team. And even then, he's done good, but he hasn't been as projected as he was, as great as he was. So I hope everybody's enjoyed. Also, with baseball season, this is my last point. With baseball season just around the corner, or just here actually, with it starting last week, ways to enjoy a baseball game. I highly recommend a vape. Some mints are really easy to put in icebreakers, K's, things like that. And then you don't bring in joints, metal K cases, things like that. Have those outside, your walk or stroll around the stadium, things like that. And I recommend just enjoying it. If you're looking for something to do on a day off, they're just they're so cheaper during the week. If you go a Tuesday at 12, games that nobody's really going to, you can get them for under $30. So it's so great. It's a great way to enjoy the sun and just enjoy summer. So I highly recommend them. Check them out if you've never been to a baseball game. And always, always, always bring up vape and some edibles, because you're just going to enjoy it a lot more. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this episode at High Halftime. Tomorrow I will have my first guest, Amy, who has been my accountant, but she works for other companies, and I'm so excited to bring her on. It's a great way to test out the equipment, test out different angles, and also talk about what she's doing. This takes a team, and so her helping me balance everything has helped create this mystery machine and will help it grow further in the future. And if you want to be a part of any of the shows every Tuesday, I would love to interview somebody or talk about renovations on the RV. So if you want to be a part of it, message me on Instagram, Twitter, through here, and I will get back to you and get you on the show. So I hope everybody has enjoyed. It's been fun having a high halftime. I will start to have guests on that high halftime to show different perspectives as well. And yeah, let's send it off the right way. I hope everybody has had a happy 420.